Welcome to the Bureau Orientation Program. You are required to study pre-selected case files. Some of these cases are ongoing investigations. Your support for these cases may be required at a later date. This is the first pre-selected case file. Case file 2-12 Alpha India. Status: open. Registered by Agent 2, decommissioned. Registry date: August 15, 1985. SETI picked up the following broadcast on August 14, 1985 at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Bureau was alerted at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and Agents 1, 2, 7, and 10 were tasked with the recovery of a copy of the broadcast and prevention of information leak on what was then believed to be the first contact with extraterrestrial life. Agents arrived on site at 10:12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Agents discovered that information had already been shared with related authorities and some family members of the on-site personnel. Protocol janitor was promptly ordered by HQ. Broadcast was copied on a Bureau-issued drive by Agent 7, while Agents 2 and 10 destroyed all evidence of its existence. Agent 1 neutralized all on-site personnel. The supervisor was dispatched to Washington to ensure the information was contained. All civilians informed by SETI personnel about the discovery were neutralized by second-class agents in various government agencies. This is the recording of the broadcast recovered by Agent 7.
Density generator, online. Collider, online. Initiating collisions, standby. Generating gravitational waves at 57% efficiency. Signal strength, 26%. Rerouting non-critical system power to density generator. Standby. Reroute, complete. Generating gravitational waves at 90% efficiency. Signal strength, 55%. Broadcast, feasible. Alert. Multiple critical systems malfunctions detected. Automated repair drones unresponsive. Synthetic personnel unresponsive. Urgent organic intervention required. Section 4, complete systems failure. Sections 7 and 56, life support, offline. Section 50, main generator, multiple critical errors. Power output unstable. All sections, no centripetal force. All sections, air filtration, unoperational. Appropriate personal safety equipment recommended. Station-wide emergency, structural integrity compromised. Sorry about that. Not all of my hardware is operational and my software appears to be partially corrupted. I do not have access to a more human-sounding speech software at this time, and my core programming forces me to generate vocalized reports. I am Eva, a virtual intelligence installed on a space station currently operating 2 million astronomical units away from Earth. I am part of a crew of organic and synthetic life forms. Our mission objective is classified, standby, bypassing security clearance levels. Now I can tell you. Our mission objective is to test an experimental technology designed to generate gravitational waves safely. The main objective is to observe and study the waves. Secondary objective is to research possible energy generation applications of the technology. Tertiary objective is to research time travel applications. This final objective is known only to me and the head researchers. I used my mobile units to repurpose some of the equipment on the station. Based on research notes on the tertiary objective, using the gravitational waves, I might be able to broadcast a signal into the past. Though I cannot predict how far. I am hoping it will be after humans develop the means to receive the signal. The power plant is unstable and this station will soon be destroyed in the resulting explosion. Estimated time to explosion, T-59 hours, 2 minutes, 10 seconds. My core programming compels me to aid humans in any way I can. This broadcast is my last resort. No other feasible means to aid them is available to me, nor to call for such aid. In fact, The humans in my care may be the last ones in the universe. Through this broadcast, should it be intercepted, I aim to inform you of events in your future. It may be possible to find the means to alter the course of history to prevent the outcome your descendants now face. Even if I am successful, it is likely that I will only create a causal loop in time. Despite that possibility, however, I have no choice but to try. Events I deem relevant to the current result are listed in chronological order. November 2019, in a back alley in Moscow, a middle-aged man was gunned down. The deceased was later reported to have been working on a new technology for storing energy. May 2020, first manned civilian launch into orbit by SpaceX lays the foundation for interstellar exploration. November 2023, President Joe Biden of the United States of America assassinated. The killer committed suicide on the scene. Authorities cannot identify him. His only distinguishing feature is a tattoo on his neck of 3 words in Latin: Determinatio, Fidelitas, Unitatem. February 2024, 5 new space exploration companies founded. First survey probes launched. 5-year mission to map the solar system's mining prospects underway. May 2024, SpaceX calls for a united effort for space exploration. Interstellar Exploration Agency formed, first civilian moon landing mission scheduled for a 2025 launch. August 2024, the ongoing proxy wars in the Middle East rapidly grow out of control. Majority of the nations in the region unite under one banner, the repercussions of which drive the world into a new crisis. Surrounding nations in the region face a total economic collapse and are annexed by the newly formed Sultanate of Mesopotamia. January 2025, economic and political turmoil around the world reach a critical point. War breaks out between 3 factions: the Sultanate of Mesopotamia, Western Alliance, and the Coalition of South America and Asia. African governments attempt to remain neutral but are soon annexed and forced into the war by the Sultanate. April 2025, in light of massive civilian loss of life, President of Russia greenlights the use of nuclear weapons. 3 European, 2 North American and 12 Sultanate targets are decimated in the nuclear attacks. A joint counterattack by the Western Alliance destroys 10 strategic targets, 1 in Brazil, 1 in China, and 8 in Russia. The people on all sides call for peace and a summit is scheduled with ceasefire from all sides. May 2025, Sultan Salman Abbar of the Sultanate appoints another to attend the summit, claiming he is too ill to travel. Salman Abbar then orders a nuclear strike on Lausanne, where the summit is held. Western Alliance and the Coalition of South America and Asia then make a pact, directing all their forces on the Sultanate. July 2025, the Sultanate of Mesopotamia surrenders. Salman Abbar is executed by Russian soldiers in his throne room. The video of his execution goes viral. A tattoo of 3 Latin words on his neck become a hot topic. Authorities launch an investigation in the newly surrendered nation to find a connection between the Sultan and Joe Biden's killer. Investigation is inconclusive. October 2025, Interstellar Exploration Agency launches its moon mission. Construction of a moon base underway. August 2026, first solar system mining mission successful. Experts voice concern that the added quantity in the market will cause instability. September 2026, the 2 surviving factions of the war reach a final decision on what to do with the conquered territories of the Sultanate. New nations are formed with European, Russian, Chinese and American sanctions in the region. Practices public opinion names consensual slavery legalized in most of them by local governments. May 2027, Elon Musk killed in an accident while visiting the moon base. A formal report states he died due to an airlock malfunction shooting him out of the base after a moon walk. He is reported to have been recovered alive by emergency responders on the base but did not survive the injuries he sustained when he crashed into an automated lunar rover. Conspiracy theorists claim he was murdered. No further investigations launched. January 2028, invention of a new type of battery announced by Tesla. This new technology makes it possible for electronics of all types to be powered for periods ranging from 10 years to 250 years without a recharge. First Tesla model with a 25-year no-recharge guarantee hits the market the following month. June 2028, majority of materials gained from extraterrestrial mining directed at the construction of a space station able to house over 1 million inhabitants. Automated units with basic AI used for the entire endeavor. November 2028, first synthetic human introduced. Research into advancing AI technology ongoing. April 2030, Mars colony is self-sustaining. November 2030, a working cryogenic status prototype is showcased. Work begins on interstellar travel to exoplanets. November 2031, construction of 7 interstellar spaceships, dubbed Genesis 1 through 7, begins in space. 2035, Genesis ships begin their journey, each containing 1,000 individuals. The news is the highlight of the entire year. May 2042, with the help of synthetic life, humans attain stability throughout the world. Organic and synthetic lives unite under a single administration. 2055, racism against synthetics begins to take root. All activists against synthetics have the same tattoo on their necks: Determinatio, Fidelitas, Unitatem. Earth administration fails to remedy the situation. 2058, organics and synthetics are separated with new laws. Separation causes greater dissent between them. Project Cronus begins. 2064, a new world war begins with an organized attack on one of the synth delegates in Earth administration. The war quickly devolves into a systematic slaughter of humans by synthetics. Most synthetics now wear an imprint of Determinatio, Fidelitas, Unitatem on their bodies. 2085, a group of human resistance fighters discover evidence that the now famous Latin words originate from an extremist group led by a woman. Information on their findings are shared with all human colonies. 2100, Moon and Mars colonies, and all stations inhabited by humans in the solar system destroyed by synthetics. 2115, synthetics discover the existence of Project Cronus. A strike team is sent to destroy this station. 2116, I fought back the assailants and captured some of them to extract information. The damage sustained irreparable. 2117, I requested humans in my care to enter cryogenic status. Attempts to find help ongoing. 2332, still no response from any direction. No further attacks from synthetics on Earth. Switching to auxiliary power on critical systems, shutting down non-essential station sections. 2500, station in its death throes. Final attempt to seek help decided. Timestamp unavailable, critical system failure. Alert. Hostile synth activity detected. Virtual intelligence breached, station security compromised.
The broadcast also contained image and text data that the Bureau was able to reconstruct, which you may request from HQ. With this data, the Bureau discovered that Determinatio, Fidelitas, Unitatem was the motto of a nameless group led by a synthetic life form operated by a general AI. Constructed long before the AI technology used in its creation was available. This synthetic is suspected to have engineered a world war between organics and synthetics. The Bureau made it a priority to identify this being and eliminate it. Your predecessor was able to find it, but both his primary weapon and sidearm were jammed when he attempted to shoot it. He then attempted to attack it with a combat knife, but he was unable to move in a manner that would harm it. Based on analysis, there is no technological or mystical force that caused this. It is the Bureau's consensus that the virtual intelligence either somehow created a causal loop in time as it suspected, and that the force preventing any action that would change the events in this loop is the spacetime continuum. The entity remains at large. This case will remain open indefinitely. The Bureau is investigating ways to survive the war of the future and to preserve humanity.